Hi guys, wanted to do a video about the 7 things that I look to for roughing type of builds. On a high level, quick walkthrough, I'm going to explain the things that I look through right away to make sure that things are met and things are built to plans. Talking about plans, can't build things to plans unless you have your plans out. So want to see some type of makeshift table. I've never seen a real store-bought IKEA table, but some type of makeshift table works well. I want to see permits in the windows, plans on the table, make sure that the plans are being followed. Continuing on, the second thing that I look for is framing. I want to make sure that the framing is tight. Uh, all these framing members are very tight. And then we have the appropriate king and jack studs, right? So this is a king stud, this is a jack stud. Uh, these things are important, that we're making sure that the framing is done correctly, right? So certain times you will have doorways interior to the house that don't need the complete jack and king studs. They can go without. They can do a little different framing. I tend to let those go, but on the exterior walls, I do want to see the appropriate king and jack studs. And continuing on to number 3, fasteners. So right here, we're looking at joist hangers, right? So this is a appropriate fastener type as determined by the engineer to hold this overhang roof. Another thing you're going to see right here is hurricane ties. So this is what the engineer required. If you look closely at the hurricane ties, you're going to see nails. So these nails are specially designed for the hurricane ties themselves, and it is also required by inspection, required by the engineer as well. And for number 4 on the list, I'm looking for clean mechanical runs, right? So mechanical is your HVAC, your plumbing, and your electrical, right? So we actually have all 3 right here. So your HVAC, just want to make sure that they're appropriately inside the walls, they're not sticking out. They look pretty well run. And then you have your plumbing. Your plumbing, same thing, want to make sure that they're straight up and down. There's some slope to the pitches going into the main stack, and then the appropriate items are used. I'm not a professional plumber, but I want to make sure that the job is clean. And then your electrical, want to make sure that the proper fasteners are attached as well. So that's a big thing with electrical. You're going to see a lot of jobs without proper fasteners, proper clips attached. You want to make sure that the clips are on those jobs. Bringing you guys outside for our next item, I'm going to talk about flashing. And flashing, you can talk about flashing for a whole video, a whole 30-minute video. I'm just going to hit a few key topics, what I look towards on flashing. The number one thing that I look for is that the top is always outside of the bottom, right? So what you're going to see is that when things are inside the bottom, right, water will run and it has to find a way to get outside. If you have your roof, for example, on the outside, like it is here, the rain is going to fall off the roof, and in this case, about a good 12 inches away from the actual siding. So we're going to have hard driving rain to actually hit the siding, where most of the rain is going to hit the roof. Next thing that I look for is that all J channels are installed appropriately. So you have J channels around this door, you have J channels around these boxes here, J channels around the window. What you're not seeing is what's behind these J channels. All these doors are properly flashed. Then they're also capped as well. So if you are changing windows, changing doors, you can come in there, recap them, and it's an easy change out rather than redoing the flashing tape, right? So we do that here in Philadelphia because we do often have break-ins. So we're trying to figure out a better way to replace doors and windows when there is some damage. Our next item is functionality. If you see my other videos, I've mentioned functionality before. Really, I didn't really have a good spot to pick in this house because there's not that many doors in this house. But oftentimes you're going to see a kitchen to this side, and then you're going to see the basement door. And you want to make sure that you do have a nice clean opening on the basement, basement door, that's probably going to be a right-hand swing door, or a left-hand swing. I always get that confused. You're going to open this door up, and if you do have the kitchen, and these houses very tight, you might be faced with some functionality that's not functional, right? You're gonna hit your door to your fridge in that case. So you want to make sure that when you're walking through a rough-in process, that you find and identify these issues early and try to address the issues before you close up. The final thing I want to mention is a clean work site. So number 7 on the list is a clean work site, and these are active work sites, so you're never going to get it completely clean. But floors nicely swept, not too much debris on the floors, um, electrical cords, scrap wood to the side, um, and a real nice path from the front door to the back door. So if people are taking out trash to the back or the front, they have that easy access, right? So one of the major things that I look for when initially walking through is if the house is clean. I think that helps for whoever you're working with, right? So if you're working service for a client, um, you're working for a rough inspection, for example, if your house is clean, it's going to present so much better. So those are my 7 items. Hope you guys enjoyed.